to the Bears Den with Drake Toll for a Baylor take on your lunch break.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den today. Happy Thursday, everybody. May 27th, 1 o'clock hour, rounding it out today. But 2 o'clock for these guys from sunny Orlando, Florida, coming out of nowhere to make the Final Four in the doubles, the individual tournament titles for men's tennis. Again, Orlando, Florida, you guys look a little bit more tan. Constantin, you especially than the last time we talked to you. What has it been like? Connie, we'll start for you being in Orlando for all of about a month and a half now.
I mean, it's been a hell of a ride since we arrived here 15 days ago. I mean, we lost in the national team championship final on Saturday night. And, yeah, now we're back to the Final Four in the individual tournament and doubles. And yeah, it's been really fun in Orlando. Good weather, and yeah, we can't really complain about it.
Sven, for you, man, I mean, you guys go team championship, and you're running through the Elite Eight, the Final Four title, all there in consecutive days. I mean, just back to back to back. How much does that take out of you as an athlete to have to do that? It just constant wear and tear on you.
I think it's more, at this point, it's more mentally than physically. We worked hard the whole season, got prepared for, going through the NCAA tournament, which we all know is going to be very physical. We got all the way to the end. Fortunately, we didn't get the chip, but I think, we were happy to be there, had an opportunity to compete in a final. And like I said, it's that first match on Monday, I think was the hardest, at least for me. Just kind of mentally battling through that loss. Didn't really want to be out there, but luckily I'm playing doubles, so I have someone else to play with me. And I told to myself and my girlfriend that I'm not gonna play for myself this tournament. I've been here, I played it. We were all Americans, so we didn't really have anything to compete for. But I kind of set my mind, I'm gonna play for Connie. It's his last tournament, and basically any match could be our last. So that's what I'm playing for.
Connie, for you on the other side of that, you go through the wear and tear again of that team tournament where you're vying for a national title, and then you go straight from the championship game to having to compete in another bracket in doubles. What is it like? I mean, does your mindset change at all when you flip from team championship to playing doubles and trying to compete for that title?
I mean, as Sven said, it was super hard. The first and second round was so hard, mentally, just to get up and compete again, because Saturday night was really rough for us and for the entire team, because our goal was to win the ship. And I mean, at the end, we didn't get it done, and it was still a hell of a season. And I mean, especially after the first round, we kind of told ourselves, okay, let's get the ship in the dubs. That's my last chance, and yeah, my last chance was Sven to compete in a college tournament, and yeah, and every day could be my last match as a Bear.
Tell you, Sven, for you guys getting to go to the national championship, I think it's overlooked that Tennessee match that you guys played was so tough and down to the wire, trying to make your way into the national championship. How worn out do you guys get by the time you're through that Friday match? Because I know that Tennessee match took everything out of you.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think that particularly that Tennessee match, nothing went our way at the end. Adrian had a bunch of match points, couldn't finish. We were battling in all singles matches to get to that point. Mati had his chances to kind of finish early, didn't get it done, and I felt like literally a miracle was happening for Tennessee to kind of just stay in it, for them to keep battling. And fortunately, we were lucky enough to finish it. But something that, maybe, most of the people don't know is after that match, we had to go out there at 8:45 p.m. to practice under the lights, because up to that point we played about 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock every day since the Sweet 16, and then the final was at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. So totally different conditions, different environment, no wind at that point, and we've been playing, like I said, in much different conditions. It was very hot. sunny, windy, and then we go on a final, and they schedule us for, basically a night match, which was completely different. Especially in an environment like this where they basically had a home advantage. And so I think that was one of the toughest things for us as a team to kind of adapt, go out there after a very, very physical match and go out there for another 30 minutes when all you want to do is just basically lay in bed and relax and, prepare for a match like that. So I think that was the toughest thing.
Constantin, for you to be on the biggest stage in tennis and now getting your chance in your last year. I mean, say you guys would have lost to TCU or Tennessee, your career would have been over, no chance to play in the title, but you got all the way to that point. What was that like? Just the pageantry and the feeling of playing on the nation's biggest stage in your final season?
That was the reason why I came to Baylor when I was 18, just to be in a final like that. So, that's a hell of an accomplishment from all of us, and it was a dream of mine to always play in a national final. And we did pretty well. Even though we lost in the final, it was just a couple points away from winning that match if you look really closely to the scores. And it means the world to me. Even though we lost, I would rather lose with anybody else. Lose with anybody else than those guys.
Sven, now moving into doubles, you guys being number 9 in the country were not expected to make it even to the Elite Eight, much less this Final Four national semifinal. I got to tell you, yesterday was a really, really bad day to be William Bloomberg. Probably not the outcome he was looking for in singles or doubles, but you guys knocked off the number 3 doubles squad in the nation. This seems like an unbelievable run for both of you guys.
Yeah, all credit to Will. He had a crazy career. Looking at his results, I think he's been one of the most consistent players out there. 10-time All-American, the only guy to ever do it. We probably won't see anyone else do it if that's what would be my guess. But yeah, we just play hard. We got the first set. On that little, little slip on their side at the 5-4 when they served, and we were able to get that first set. And then I think in the second set they just kind of went for it. Everything went their way, similar to the match before that we played against Oklahoma State guys. Nothing was going well for us. We lost 17 more points and ended up winning that match. And yesterday we lost one more point and we still ended up winning, which is something in tennis that can happen, but it's not very usual. And so we're just very fortunate to get to this point. And I think Connie put a lot of work in doubles throughout his last season. I think it's showing off right at the end where obviously we all hope to play our best tennis, and for him to come out and mentally battle through, I think it's one of the most and just exciting things for me to kind of move forward with, and hopefully next year I'll be in the same position where I can play either in singles or doubles at the same spot.
Connie, you got to see a really good competitor in that number 3 North Carolina group, and now you're facing a team that's ranked even lower than them in the national semifinal in the number 4 squad in Pat Harper and Adam Walton from Tennessee. A couple of Tennessee guys. You guys have just played as a team Tennessee a couple of days ago, and now you've got number 4 today. What is that match going to look like?
It's a rematch because we lost to them on Friday afternoon to them on a really close match. We both are really looking forward to it, to get the rematch and hopefully, beat them this time. But it's going to be tough. They have 4 in the nation, and we can kind of go play free in there because they have to win because they're the highest seed. And as you already said, we shouldn't even make it to the Elite Eight.
Why stop now, obviously? And Sven, I mentioned it yesterday. It's the same thing for Adrian Boitan, who also beat Bloomberg yesterday. For a guy like that is number 21 coming in, I'm looking at the semifinals guys left. Nobody outside the top 10 except for Adrian. Him going into that Final Four, how unexpected has that been, and how has that kind of helped motivate you guys?
I think looking from the rankings, you're right. It's very unexpected for him and us to be in this spot. But to be honest, I think when Adi's healthy, when Adi's fresh, which he's not right now, so that's a miracle that he's in this position playing right now or about to. I think he belongs here. I think he belongs to the top. He's one of the best college players at the moment, and he's proven it. I think he had a very good end of the season. Unfortunately, in the NCAA tournament, he didn't finish, if I believe. But he was in a good spot to win all of those matches. I think he's a great teammate. He works day in, day out. A great tennis player, and I feel like rankings maybe don't necessarily prove that. Which in college tennis, there's a little speculation if rankings are actually fair or not. But we started as a team. I think we started as a 15th team in the nation. Ended up, at some point we were number one. I think we're gonna finish second after the loss, but I feel like sometimes the rankings are not necessarily fair just because of the system that there is. But Adi definitely belongs there, but it is a miracle based on how many matches he's played, how many 3-set matches he played. I think it was 6 in a row, something like that. And for him to go out on Sunday after, we were awake until like 4 a.m. He went out there the same day, same as Matthias. Unfortunately, he didn't get it done, but Adi to just kind of battle through. I mean, it's unreal. I think all credit to him. And we all know that he's mentally capable of something like that, but sometimes he doesn't believe it. I think yesterday was one of those things where he proved himself and others that, after being so drowned, and he, all he wanted to go basically was just go on a flight and go back to Waco. But somehow he managed to stay out there and be one of the best guys.
Connie, for you, it's a little bit different. I mean, Sven can win a title this year, come back and do it all again next year in the doubles, the singles, and Adrian the same thing. But for you, this is your last go-round, your last ride. How has that helped you approach this differently, or have you approached it any differently than years past?
I mean, I feel like this year it's more like I'm enjoying every single day, every single practice. I'm just going day by day. And especially in my first 2 years, I had the mentality I have 2 more years, so I still have time. But the time just went by like this, like super quick. And now it's, coming to an end at some point. So I'm just, enjoying every day with the guys, with my coaches, staff members. Just, right now it's actually every hour because at any moment it can be done. So,
wow. Sven, for you, I mean, playing with a now Baylor legend and Jimmy Bendeck in the doubles, and next thing you know, they stick you with Big Connie. I mean, how different has it been competing with Constantin? And not only that, you guys are now in the national semifinal. Like, who saw this coming?
Yeah, I think Jimmy would be the first one actually to say that we belong this place. He doesn't believe that there's a better team out there than us. And so something like that to come, he's our, basically one of our best friends. I can say the same for Connie. And, when he says something like that, it obviously gives me a lot of confidence, some motivation to prove him that we actually do belong here. Like, he's not just saying something to just say it. But I think it's a little different dynamic. Connie obviously has a better serve, so that makes my job easier. But there was things that worked with Jimmy well. But obviously, me and Connie have played now. If last season would have not ended it the way it did, it would be our second season together. We had a lot of success last year until it ended for COVID, and I think just coming in this season, we struggled at the beginning a little earlier when Connie was not here because of the fall. And it took us, quite some time to kind of figure out things, how to play well together again. And like I said, we're playing our best tennis when it's the most important. And, we're just enjoying it, like he said.
Connie, for you, you were stuck with Will Little, this guy from the middle of nowhere in Missouri. And now, you being from Germany, got a guy alongside you that knows the Europe game well. I mean, you go from a partner from Joplin, Missouri, to Sven Law. What is that like, having to readjust, have a new doubles partner, and having the success you've had so far?
I think it was actually Johannes Schretter, who I played with in my junior year.
That one goes to, that right there goes to the Baylor website for steering me wrong. I won't take credit for that one, but thank you for correcting me.
Yeah, I mean, we always played at number 3 doubles, and I think we could have played higher. It was just like we never played in the fall, so we never got a ranking. And we actually, I think, went like 22-1 in that season, had one loss. I mean, with Yo-Yo was super fun because we both spoke German, but now I feel like the dynamic with Sven is even better. Like we're, I would say, a little bit closer off the court than I was with Yo-Yo, because I mean, I had the time to spend, like, more time to spend with Sven, like, over the last 3 years now, and I knew Yo-Yo just a little bit more than 2 years. So yeah, I think, and we had more time, like, to practice and to compete, because we started in the fall 2019 and now are still playing. And yeah, I mean, I think it's been a hell of a ride with Svenny.
And you got it, the semifinals today, both you guys. I've got one last question for you, and I want to thank you for giving perspective on this season and really what this ride has been like. My last question services around Coach Michael Woodson, the head coach of this team, and what he's been able to do. I know that it's been a weird road to get Woodson as the head, to have Woodson as the head coach, but obviously springing you guys to a national championship is unprecedented. Sven, first for you, I mean, what does Michael Woodson mean to this program? How vital has he been to this season?
I mean, obviously he's one of the major pieces for the puzzle that we have. I think, more importantly, as a coach or as a staff member or just a part of the team, I think, he could be easily our second fodder, not just for me, but for most of the guys here that have been here for, 2, 3, 4 years. For me, he's the only coach that, and also for Connie, he's the only coach that has been with us since we got here. Everybody else kind of either joined later or, departed earlier. And so I think, that tells a lot. I think, throughout 4 years or 3.5, 4 or 5 years, whatever you've been here for, you can build a relationship, obviously. And so something like, like for him to just kind of come in with, a bunch of good guys with a lot of expectations and high goals and high standards, I think he managed to really well, kind of set the tone for the leadership that he's provided, and it kind of goes top to bottom. If it wasn't for him, I think with his guidance and his help and his time and effort, I think, none of us would have played, or we wouldn't have been playing on the final in NCAAs. And I think, all credit to Michael to just kind of find a way. I think, him being a head coach at Valpo definitely served him well for what he's in it now. But I think, it was a hell of a job from him. And hopefully to many years.
Connie, for you, same question. You got Michael Woodson at the helm of this program now, and you've been here a long time. To see him step up into that role, take you guys to a national championship in year one, what is your relationship like with Coach Woodson, and is he just primed for success for years to come here at Baylor?
So we arrived actually on the same day, like 5 years ago. So, I mean, Mike and me have been through a lot, faced a lot of diversity, and I mean, we had 2 different head coaches before him. So now him being the head coach, I mean, means not just the world to me, but everybody on this team, especially to the guys who's been here, like Matti and Sven. I think these are the only guys who had 2 different head coaches since they've been at Baylor. So for us, I mean, it's just amazing to see him, like, being the head coach and just kind of helping us, leading the way, like, all the way up to the number 1 in the nation. That was always, like, we tried to achieve, and we achieved that this year. Another goal was to win the national championship, and I mean, he helped us to, like, get us to the final, and Baylor hasn't been to the final since 2005. So all the credit goes to him, because especially in my first 2 years, I mean, we made it once to the Sweet 16, and then in my second year we lost in the second round. So, I mean, I think without him we wouldn't have made it that far this year. And now having Adrian and us in the Final Four in the individuals, like all the credit goes to him and his coaching staff, to Isaac, George, to Emily, to Coach Wenger, like the people he like basically took on board with him to right the ship. And all the credit goes to him, and he's not just a coach, like he's our second father, as Sven said, and it's just so much fun like to be around him. And I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it a lot.
Wow. Well, to both of you guys, best of luck today. I know you're competing here pretty soon in the national semifinal. You already beat number 3. I say you guys just go out there, beat number 4, take it to a national championship, and win this one. What do you say? Like those odds?
Yeah,
that's the plan.
I like it.
I love it. Both of you guys, thanks so much for coming on today. It's a pleasure to have you, and best of luck this afternoon.
Thanks, Drake. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, Sven Law and Constantin Frantzen joining us from Orlando, Florida today, playing in the national semifinal in doubles against a pair from Tennessee, a rematch from the Tennessee guys. They joining the show today. So coming up after this, and those guys, again, you can follow along.